Hello people, and we are here to do another unboxing. Oh geez, my bangs are really uneven. Yeah, I'm gonna fix that tonight. Okay, so we're gonna start off. Sorry, I'm getting my whole setup going. So it's easier for me to keep track. Okay, so we get in a bunch of packages. There's package, bunch of packages, many packages. Okay, so let us start off with the one that is already open, because Ashley opened it. And it has a bunch of audiobooks in it. So we have The Messengers, Greystone Secrets number 3. Very interesting. Yesterday is History. This is actually a really popular book right now, so having the Go Reader, the Play Away, whatever you want to call them, very nice. Attacked at Sea, a true World War II story of survival, of a family's fight for survival, part of the True Rescue series. Okay, here's another one, The Hollow Chest. Hide your heart, they're coming. Charlie has been having nightmares, eyes watching him in the night, claws on his chest holding him down. His dreams have been haunted for years, ever since German bombs rained down on London, taking his father's life, taking his city spirits, taking his beloved brother Theo off to war in France. Now Charlie is left to take care of his Grandpa Fitz while his mother works, waiting for the day when Theo will come home. And with World War II nearly won, that day is almost here. Grandpa Fitz warns Charlie that soldiers sometimes come back missing a piece of themselves. But Charlie isn't worried. Whatever Theo has lost, Charlie will help him find it. When Theo finally does return, though, he is cold and distant. But Charlie refuses to accept that the brother he knew is gone, and soon he discovers the reason for his brother's change. Werewolves, terrifying ancient beasts who consume the hearts of those broken by grief. The wolves have followed the soldiers back home from the front, and if Charlie truly wants to save Theo, he's going to have to find them and get his brother's heart back. But can a heart that's been eaten ever be replaced? Oh, hi Greenville! Oh, let's see. The deadliest. Hurricanes then and now. As a hurricane gathered in the Caribbean, blue skies covered Galveston, Texas. Scientists knew a storm was coming, but none of them were able to prepare Galveston for the force of the hurricane that hit on September 8th, 1900. So, this is about all of the, about various hurricanes? Or is it just about that one hurricane? But let's take a look. Okay, it looks like, wow. Well, it's got a lot of good resources for people who are wanting to find out about this stuff. Hello, everybody who's just tuning in. If you have any questions, feel free to ask them. Any questions about what it's like working in the library or any of that kind of stuff, ask. I will answer them as I get to them. In the meantime, I'm going to tell you all the books that we just got in our huge book shipment. 1 box, 2 box, many boxes, 1 big box. I have no clue what's in any of them. I'm not the one who orders the books, so I have no clue what's in them. Okay, and then another one of our Go Readers, Playaways, self-contained audiobooks, all of the above. Teen Killers Club. 17-year-old Signal Deer has raised eyebrows for years as an unhappy goth misfit from the trailer park. When she is convinced of her best friend Rose's brutal murder, she's designated a Class A, the most dangerous and manipulative. When she's convicted of her best friend Rose's brutal murder, she's designated a Class A, the most dangerous and manipulative criminal profile. To avoid prison, Signal signs on for a secret program for 18 and under Class A's and is whisked off to an abandoned sleepaway camp, where she and 7 bunkmates will train as assassins. Yet even in the Teen Killers Club, Signal doesn't fit in. She's squeamish around blood. She's kind and empathetic, and her optimistic attitude is threatening to turn a group of ragtag maniacs into a team of close-knit friends. That's because Signal's not really a killer. She was framed for Rose's murder and only joined the program to escape, track down Rose's real killer, and clear her name. But Signal never planned on the sinister technologies that keep the campers confined. She never planned on the mysterious man in the woods determined to pick them off one by one, and she certainly never planned on falling in love. Signal's strategy is coming apart at the seams as the true killer prepares to strike again in Teen Killers Club. So that sounds kind of interesting. Kind of dystopian too, but yeah, who knows. Long Lost. We have this one as a book in our juniors department, so if you don't like audiobooks but this sounds interesting, we do have the book form. I know because I've reshelved it like just a little while ago. Fiona Crane has just said goodbye to her home and friends and everything she knows, all because of her older sister Arden. To be closer to Arden's figure skating club, their family has moved to Lost Lake, a tiny, unwelcoming town of old houses, old forests, and old secrets. The only bright spot is Lost Lake's library, a rambling mansion that was once home to a wealthy local family. That's where Fiona finds the book. The book with the soft green leather cover and the gilded title and the drawings of a forest with reaching hands and staring eyes. The book about another pair of sisters who lived long ago in a town eerily like Lost Lake. The book that doesn't exist, at least not if you ask anyone about it. But Fiona knows the book is real, and it's leading her towards something that was lost long ago, something that has been waiting to be found. Maybe it's been waiting just for her. Another one, another book, nonfiction again. When You Hear Me. It's an anthology of poetry and personal stories centering around the voices of those directly impacted by the incarceration of young people in the United States. So, it's going to be an interesting read. If you like poetry, you might want to check it out. These will all be up on the shelves soon. You can find the books probably in the YA department, maybe. And the audiobooks, these, will be downstairs in the audiobook corner, down the long hallway. Did you see any of them that looked interesting to you? Hi, Liz loves to write. Hi, I am paying attention to the chat. So if you guys have any questions about what it's like working in the library, some of the stuff that we do, any of that kind of stuff, even if you just want to ask questions about like what Indiana's like, I will answer them. I have lived in Indiana my entire life. Feel sad for me, people. Feel sad. Okay, we're going to go on to the next thing, and the next thing is a package. And let us see what I can get pulled up. Give me the scissors. I got some. I found them. Skizzles. And if you guys heard that other voice is Emma, and she is one of the other workers here. She's working up in the front today while I'm doing this. They make these so hard to get into. Well, let's see. And thank you guys for all the likes. Garden State of Decay, Discarded, New Jersey. Have you ever driven past an abandoned building and wondered why it was there and what it looks like inside? Perhaps you were curious about its history and how the property ended up neglected. Join author Alex Gulino on her journey through New Jersey, the Garden State, as she explores these forgotten properties and documents their decay. Looks pretty interesting. It's got some really nice pictures on it. See? And this will be going up. Let me try and. These will be going up on our in our shelves as soon as they get processed by our cataloger. So this goes into the trashy trash. Into the trashy trash. Trash. Okay. That's one box down. One box down. And this many to go. So yeah, we're going to be here for a while, folks. Okay, this next one is Junior Library Guild box number 2. This one is for the children's department. So let's see what is in this one. Let y'all watch me open it. It's like halfway opened already and falling apart at the seams, so it's very heavy too, so. There we go. More stuff for the trashy trash. Okay. Well, right off, it looks like we got some very interesting books right off the bat. There. My thingy went down. Well, if you're trying to get your books into a library or a bookstore, if it's already published, you might just want to contact your local library and see if they actually do put in self-published books. Like, for instance, our library, we have a special collection that is just local authors. So that's a possibility. Just depends on the library that is in your area. I know personally, I have friends who have published through Ingram Spark, and Ingram is one of the places that we as a library, our library buys our books through, and any of the books published on Ingram Spark are in the Ingram catalog, and that is one of the companies that we do buy our books from. So that might be a thing to look into, is if you're self-publishing, you might want to think about self-publishing through the Ingram Spark. I'm not getting paid. Okay, I'm not getting paid to say anything about Ingram Spark, but that's just what I have heard personally and what I've seen in their stuff. But yeah, contact your local libraries and see if they do take in self-published works, or if they have a local author collection. So that's what we have. If you go out into our stacks, you can see we mark all of our books that are by local authors with a gray label. Some of our local authors are like Shelby Mahurin, who wrote the Serpent and Dove trilogy, Lexi Ryan and her multitudes of books, Mike Lunsford and his shorter books. There's more, but those are just the ones that stick out in my head right off the top of my head. But yeah, we have... Thank you! See, this is why I like doing them, where people can hear. Like, this book, it's by a local author, gets a local author tag, and then on the edge, it gets a gray label. And that's how our people can know that it is a book by a local author. And to us, local usually means like the state of Indiana, but I guess if you lived in a more like metropolitan area, it might mean people just from that area. It all depends on your library. So really, contact your library directly, talk to the librarians, talk to ask to talk to whoever it is who does their collection or buying for their collection, so that might help you out more too. I'll give this back to you, Emma.
Thank you.
Because they're the ones, and get people to ask for it. If you have people that you know want to read your book, and if they go into the libraries and ask for it, that tells the library that there is a demand for this book and it should be in our collection. So you can always try that way too. So I'm going on to our next series of books. If you guys have any questions or anything, tell me them in the chat and I will try and answer them. If I can't answer them, I will find someone who can. Even if it takes me having to put up another video. So, okay, the first book in the second Junior Libraries Guild is Clarice the Brave. Let's see what it says. The only good cat is a fed cat. Clarice, a young ship mouse, knows this to be true. She and her brother, Charles Sebastian, were taught to be careful, as all mice are, but caution is no match for the sea, which took their mother, and is certainly no match for Special Lady, the horrid cat who ate their sister. Now the siblings hide in their pantry crate, knowing every move they make could be their last. When a shocking mutiny forces Clarice onto a small leaky boat with Special Lady and a dozen hungry sailors with deadly boots, Charles Sebastian is left on the ship to fend off mutineers. A flock of irate chickens. Can someone say cuckoos from Legend of Zelda? That's what I always think of when I see irate chickens. And an inquisitive human prisoner, a mouse's worst enemy. Being careful may have saved them in the past, but now Clarice and Charles Sebastian will need to grow bold if they are to survive, and keep their promise to find each other once again. So yeah, irate chickens, cuckoos from Legend of Zelda. I can't, that's just what comes through my head. Everyone who's played a Legend of Zelda game knows you don't mess with the chickens. You don't mess with the cuckoos.
You do break all the pots, though.
Yes, you do break all the pots. It's always fun when you work with another gamer person. Okay, this next one is Wingbearer. And let's see what it says. Enter a world where magic takes flight. Zuli is an extraordinary girl. She just doesn't know it yet. Raised by mystical bird spirits high among the branches of the great tree, she has no idea what awaits her in the world beyond her safe haven. But when a sinister force threatens the life-giving magic of the tree, Zuli must venture out with her guardian owl, Frowley, to get to the root of it. She lives in a tree. So begins an adventure bigger than anything Zuli could have imagined, one that will bring her face to face with an ancient dragon, a terrifying witch queen, and most surprising of all, her own true identity. There's going to be puns in this book. I can just tell by the summary. There are going to be so many puns. Here's some early readers that are coming in. Pillbug does not need anybody. Oh, another one of the Mo series, Spike It Mo. These are kind of popular with our kiddos. Okay, here is another one. This will probably end up going in the juniors room. Just Harriet. There are a few things you should know about Harriet Wormer. She just finished 3rd grade. She has a perfect cat named Matzo. She doesn't always tell the truth. She is very happy spending summer vacation away from her home and her mom and dad and all the wonderful things she's been planning all year. Okay, maybe that last one isn't entirely the truth. Of course, there's nothing Harriet doesn't like about Marble Island, the small island off the coast of California where her Nanu runs a cozy little bed and breakfast, and nobody doesn't love Moneypenny, Nanu's old basset hound. But Harriet doesn't like the fact that Dad made this decision without even asking her. When Harriet arrives on Marble Island, however, she discovers that it's full of surprises and even a mystery, one that seems to involve her dad, back when he was a young boy living on Marble Island. One that Harriet is absolutely going to solve, and that's the truth. So. another Matthew Forsyth book, Mina. We have another book of his back in the children's department, so this will be a nice addition to it. It's very wonderful artwork. Oh no, it's a cat and mouse. See, it's kind of unique artwork. Might see that on a story time on our YouTube channel. We do those Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 2 o'clock. They also are on our Facebook page too, if you happen to like. And here's another one, We Shall Overcome. Sorry for, you can see stuff like that. That'll be in the children's department as well. Snow Angel, Sand Angel. And it's got some really nice looking artwork. That'll be an interesting one to look up. Dress Up Day. It's got some cute artwork as well. And again, you never know when one of these is going to end up on one of our storytime videos. Hint, hint. Your birthday was the best. It has a cockroach on it. Ugh, cockroaches. Ugh. And the last book in this box, Gladys the Magic Chicken. So it looks kind of interesting. It looks like it's very Greek themed. So yeah, that's going to be interesting. That one's probably why the box is bursting, because it barely fits in. And that is all that was in this box, and we will move on to our other boxes. We have more coming up. I've got to go take this one back to where it's supposed to be. You know, just in case she wants. Because the person who's supposed to get this hasn't been in yet today. So I'm going to take it back to their desk. And get my liquid refreshment. So, yeah, hi. Okay, we're going to start opening up the smaller of the packages. Snippy, 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 snip. And it's a book. Surprise! Broken Ties by Shannon Baker. When her niece goes missing, Sheriff Kate Fox dives into a lethal investigation that unearths long-buried secrets in a secret society desperate to keep them hidden. there's that one. There's that thingamajigger. It's going to go back on. Misty, if you're watching this, I'm sorry. Misty's our cataloger. Like, they all came in today. Everything came in today. Okay, so another one that goes off to the side. A push and pull board book. Llama Llama Time to Play. I'll be back in just a minute. Yes? Okay, I'm back. Hi. Sorry, it dropped the thingy out of it. Didn't mean to drop the thingy out of it, but it still dropped out of it. Let's see, it's a push and pull book. So there's this little tab down here that we pull. Sorry, I'm horrible at this. And it changes the scene from daytime to nighttime. So yeah, that one's going back down here. Bring it over to the side, and I'm going to rank this up in it, just so I can keep track. Okay, got another book to open. Got another box. It's fun to open. Like, I'm trying to get everything done before like 4. I don't think that's going to happen. Just based on the amount of books that we've got. Might be DVDs. Might be books. It's a book. It is a book. It is a book. Okay, and the book is Seances Are for Suckers. Yeah, I think that there's been a couple people waiting on this one, actually. When something goes bump in the night, it's most likely a plumbing problem, or something equally mundane. But Big Medium Eleanor Wilde is happy to investigate and cleanse your home of spectral presences for a fee. Hey, it's a living. So, yeah. Again, all of these books that I am showing in this will be available at the library soon, as soon as our cataloger can get to them. And if you have any questions, ask. I'll try and answer. Next. Scotty Baker and Taylor. Whispers of the Gods. Tales from baseball's golden age told by the men who played it. So, yeah, it's for your baseball fans. Not for me. I am not much of a baseball fan. I am not much of a sports fan in general, but that is just me. I know there are plenty of people here in our community who love sports, and they're going to love reading this book. Every book has a person. That is not my book, and I am not its person. Next, we get Snippy, Snippy, Snippy. The Redemption of Bobby Love. So yeah, that's going to be coming to shelves soon. Okay, this is from Library Journal. We're on our last 2 boxes, people. Okay, this is nothing you guys get to see. These are art copies. If you don't know what an art copy is, it means advanced reader copy. We've got a ton of them in this time, and some of them look interesting. Basically what happens is we can't put these out on the shelf, but we can give them to people to read and then do a review for. The Library Journal will keep sending them to us as long as we keep on giving them reviews. So if you happen to want to do book reviews and you live in the Clinton, Indiana area, come see us. We can get you and hooked up with some of these art copies, and we can see if any of them are any kind of book you like, and genre wise, then you can read it, do a review, and we can still keep on getting them. So yay! Like, these are copies that haven't really gone through editing heavily, or there may still be rewrites and stuff that they're going to do, which is part of the reason why they send out art copies in the first place. Yeah, it looks like there's some interesting ones in here, so these will be going to a different spot. Just ask up at the front desk if you want to try to do some of these and get some do some book reviews. Just ask them. We will tell you what ARC books we have currently. Yeah, these are getting moved to a different place. Just as an aside, that's how, like, if you go on to like Goodreads or other or Amazon with books that haven't been released yet, that's how they get reviews. They send out ARC copies, advanced reader copies, and then people submit reviews, and sometimes they get paid for them, sometimes they don't. In our case, you don't. But you can read, we've had stuff like, the Bones TV show, it's based off of a book series. We've had like art copies of the next book in the series before, and we've had, I personally did one that was the most recent Harley Quinn comic release. That was just like Harley or something like that. It's been a while since I've done it, but we get graphic novels and we get regular books, and they're from all genres. We have a lot of stuff. We get a lot of them. We got an entire box of them, as you saw. So now we're going to move on to our last box. The big old Baker and Taylor box. They're all together. I might actually get done with this before 4 o'clock. Sticky tape. So we're going to go through this and let's see what we like on here. Excuse my hair, I'm getting used to it. Okay. Poor Richard's Women. Deborah Reed Franklin and the other women behind the Founding Father. That's going to be interesting. Hello to Lathan. Lathan, hello. Let's see. Caroline Brown, Bride for a Day. What's One Little White Lie? Cassie O'Malley was on the run from her overbearing family when she hopped on a bus going anywhere but here. She just has to wait for her birthday in a few months, when her inheritance and her freedom become hers to keep. But the second she steps off the bus in North Texas, she runs straight into the town sheriff, panics, and grabs the first friendly face she sees and tells the biggest lie she's ever told, that they're engaged. Ted Wellman was only in town to pick up some new farm equipment when the terrified redhead whispered that she needed his help, and he's not about to turn down the most beautiful damsel in distress he's ever seen. But things get out of hand when their little white lie turns into an impromptu wedding. Wondering how she got herself into this mess, Cassie immediately asks for an annulment. But when Ted's family welcomes her with full heart, she begins to wonder if she'll be able to say goodbye to the first loving family she's known in her life. Not to mention a man like Ted. Sorry, folks. Talking for too long makes my throat hurt.
You cannot use the card to check out anything. This is fines to receipt. It's $42. Anything under $10.
My Husband's Daughter by Emma Robinson. A heartbreaking and emotional story about love, friendship, and what it truly means to be a parent. On a cold Friday evening, Rebecca and her husband Jack's doorbell rings. Outside is a woman who introduces herself as Jack's ex-girlfriend, Kara. She's holding the hand of a shivering, blue-eyed 4-year-old girl who she claims is Jack's daughter. Rebecca is shocked to discover he has a child from his last relationship, one he hadn't known about, especially since becoming parents isn't part of their life plan. But Kara needs them because she has a devastating secret that she can't tell anyone yet, not even her daughter. A secret with the power to change all of their lives, and one that forces Rebecca to ask herself, could she find it in herself to welcome her husband's child into her home and into her heart?
But also,
Me.
if you do find something that is under $42, such as like you find the other book on sale, something for just $20, you can bring it in as long as it's a copy of what you already get.
An anonymous justice novel, Renegade by Nancy Allen. Kate Stone swore an oath to uphold the law, but is it time to take justice into her own hands? The pursuit of justice. Assistant DA Kate Stone has just suffered the biggest loss of her career. She worked so hard to prosecute a serial assaulter of women, and it was a case she should have won, but a corrupt judge allowed Max James to walk free. When he confronts her outside the courthouse, she punches James, and he goes down hard. After the footage is plastered across every TV screen, Kate's boss demands that she either attend anger management meetings or give up the job she lives for. The pursuit of justice can be different from the pursuit of truth. Begrudgingly, Kate attends her first meeting. Inside is a group of people all failed by the justice system. Their mission to do everything in their power to help right wrongs, even if outside the law. Unsure who to trust among this unlikely team of renegades, Kate begins to dig into Max James's secret life, and her explosive discoveries will lead to a stunning new twist in the case, and turn her into the prime suspect. The Impossible Us by Sarah Lofts. In this funny, poignant novel, two strangers learn that their soulmate might be both as close as breath and as distant as a star, from British Fantasy Award recipient Sarah Lofts. Bea thinks she has everything: successful business, repurposing wedding dresses, friends who love and support her. She's given up on finding love, but that's fine. There's always Tinder. Nick thinks he has nothing. His writing career is stalled after early promise, and his marriage is on the rocks, but that's fine. There's always Jen. So when one of Nick's emails, a viciously funny screed intended for a non-paying client, accidentally pings into Bea's inbox, they decide to keep the conversation going. After all, they never have to meet. But the more they get to know each other, the more Bea and Nick realize they want to. They both notice strange pop culture and political references that crop up in their correspondence, but nothing odd enough to stop Bea and Nick from falling hard for each other. When their efforts to meet in real life fail spectacularly, Bea and Nick discover they're actually living in near identical but parallel worlds. With the universe between them, Bea and Nick will discover how far they'll go to beat impossible odds. So yeah, that's kind of interesting. If you just showed up, these are all books that we just got ordered, that we just got in, and will be on our shelves soon. So I have half of a box to go through, and we will be done for the day. Okay, Secret Identity by Alex Segura. It's 1975 and the comic book industry is struggling. Carmen Valdez is an assistant at Triumph Comics, which doesn't have the creative zeal of Marvel nor the buttoned-up efficiency of DC, but it doesn't matter. Carmen is tantalizingly close to fulfilling her dream of writing a superhero book. That dream is nearly a reality when one of the Triumph writers enlists her to help create a new character called the Lethal Lynx, Triumph's first female hero and a runaway hit. But then her colleague is found dead, with all their scripts submitted without her name. Carmen is desperate to piece together what happened to him and to hang on to her piece of the Lynx, but that won't be easy. There's a cop investigating the murder, an old friend from Miami who shows up unannounced, and a complicated web of alliances and grudges among the passionate eccentrics who write comics for a living. Alex Segura uses his experience as a comics creator as well as his unabashed love of noir fiction to create a truly one-of-a-kind novel, hard-edged and bright-eyed, gritty and dangerous, and utterly absorbing. So yeah, that's That sounds interesting. Oh, it looks like there's bits of comics in it. Like, it's a regular novel, but it has bits of comics in it. It's a good way to fill up your blank pages. Cheating Land, The Secret Confessions of Men Who Stray. I'm trying not to say anything. Based on years of in-depth interviews with more than 60 men, this eye-opening and explosive study explores why men cheat, how they do it, and the repercussions that infidelity has on every aspect of life. Personally, I've never understood the whole cheating thing, but then I've never really had a relationship, so I don't count. Under the Golden Sun by Jenny Ashcroft. England, 1941. The world is at war. London is under siege as the German Blitz pounds the city without warning, without mercy. Rose Hamilton did her part as a member of the Women's Auxiliary Air Force until she was unfairly discharged following a tragic loss. Working as a secretary on a Devon farm, Rose is out of harm's way, but she needs to contribute to something greater than herself to truly recover. When she answers a newspaper advertisement for a companion to accompany an orphan child to Australia, Rose becomes enchanted with 4-year-old Walter Lucknow. Shy, imaginative, and kind, the boy lost his parents and has been living in near seclusion with his elder great-aunt. As heir to a wealthy Australian cattle station, Walter must return to his homeland and his mother's family. Leaving her own family and her fiancé, Rose braves the long, dangerous voyage across the Pacific waters where war is imminent to see Walter safely home. But upon arrival, Rose learns the truth about Walter's relationship to the Lucknows and the land he's supposed to inherit, a truth that haunts the boy's uncle Max, a wounded pilot scarred inside and out. And as Max opens his heart to Walter, Rose is drawn to the man's strength and compassion, finding herself torn between returning to England and staying with the child and man she's grown to love. Okay, next book. This one's going to be, okay, good, but there are 2 copies of it, good. Because this one's going to fly off the shelf. I have a feeling people are already going to be on the list for it. Janet Evanovich, The Recovery Agent. For those of you who read the most recent Janet Evanovich books, this is the spinoff. Lost something, Gabriella Rose knows how to get it back. As a recovery agent, she's hired by individuals and companies seeking lost treasures, stolen heirlooms, or missing assets of any kind. She's reliable, cool under pressure, and well-trained in weapons of all types. But Gabriella's latest job isn't for some bamboozled billionaire. It's for her own family, whose home is going to be wiped off the map if they can't come up with a lot of money fast. So, sounds kind of like an adventure book. And we've got 2 copies of that one. I don't mean to be offensive when I do that. Add to my Irish friends and English friends. Yeah, that just means 2 in the US. 2. 2 Storm Wood by Philip Gray. 3 months after the end of the Great War, a young woman sets out across the wastelands of the Western Front to learn about the fate of the man she loved. I'm kind of getting sick of, World War II romances. That's just me. I really, really don't like World War II romances. French Braid, a novel by Anne Tyler. A funny, joyful, brilliant, perceptive journey into one family's foibles from the 1950s up to our pandemic present. The Garretts take their first and last family vacation in the summer of 1959. They hardly ever venture beyond Baltimore, but in some ways they've never been further apart. Mercy has trouble resisting the siren call of her aspirations to be a painter, which means less time keeping house for her husband, Robin. Her teenage daughters, Steady Alice and boy-crazy Lily, could not have less in common. Their youngest, David, is already intent on escaping his family's orbit for reasons none of them understands. Yet, as these lives advance across the decades, the Garretts' influences on one another ripple ineffably but unmistakably through each generation. Full of heartbreak and hilarity, French Braid is a classic Anne Tyler, a stirring, uncannily insightful novel of tremendous warmth that illuminates the kindnesses and cruelties of our daily lives, the impossibility of breaking free those who love us, and how close and yet how unknowable every family is to itself. Okay, we're almost done. Only a handful more to go. The Lying Club by Annie Ward. A tangled web of lies draws three women together in this explosive thriller of revenge, murder, and shocking secrets. At an elite private school nestled in the Colorado mountains, Natalie, an office assistant, dreams of having a life like the school moms she deals with every day. Women like Brooke, a gorgeous heiress, ferociously loving mother, and serial cheater. And Asha, an overprotective mom who suspects her husband of having an affair. Their fates are bound by the handsome assistant athletic director, Nicholas, whom Natalie loves, Brooke wants, and Asha needs. But when two bodies are carried out of the school one morning, it seems the tension between mothers and daughters, rival lovers, and the haves and have-nots has shattered the surface of this isolated, affluent town where people stop at nothing to get what they want. Okay. Ancestor Trouble, A Reckoning and Reconciliation by Maud Newton. An acclaimed writer goes searching for the truth about her wildly unconventional Southern family and finds that our obsession with ancestors opens up new ways of seeing ourselves. Maud Newton's ancestors have vexed and fascinated her since she was a girl. Her mother's father, who came of age in Texas during the Great Depression, was said to have been married 13 times and been shot by one of his wives. Her mother's grandfather killed a man with a hay hook and died in an institution. Mental illness and religious fanaticism percolated through Newton's maternal lines back to an ancestor accused of being a witch in Puritan-era Massachusetts. Newton's father, an aerospace engineer turned lawyer, was an educated man who extolled the virtues of slavery and obsessed over the purity of his family bloodline, which he traced back to the Revolutionary War. He tried in vain to control Newton's mother, a whirlwind of charisma and passion, given the feverish project's 30 rescue cats and a church in the family's living room where she performed exorcisms. Her parents' divorce, when it came, was a relief. Still, her position at the intersection of her family bloodlines inspired in Newton an anxiety that she could not shake, a fear that she would replicate their damage. She saw similar anxieties in the lives of her friends, in the works of writers and artists she admired, and as obsessive in her own way as her parents, Newton researched her genealogy, her grandfather's marriages, the accused witch, her ancestors' roles in slavery and genocide, and sought family secrets through her DNA. But immersed in census archives and cousin matches, she yearned for deeper truths. Her journey took her into the realms of genetics, epigenetics, and the debates over intergenerational trauma. She mulled over modernity's dismissal of ancestors along with psychoanalytic and spiritual traditions that center around them. Searching, moving, and inspiring Ancestor Trouble is one writer's attempt to use genealogy, a once niche hobby that has grown into a multi-billion-dollar industry, to expose the secrets and contradictions of her own ancestors and to argue for the transformational possibilities that reckoning with our ancestors offers all of us. And, of course, as with most of the ones these that I do, there is a cookbook. Save it forward suppers. The simple strategy to save time, money, and sanity. It's food. And the last book, Generation Sleepless, Why Tweens and Teens Aren't Sleeping Enough and How We Can Help Them. An intimate glimpse inside a silent epidemic that is harming teens and how parents can help them reclaim their restorative power of sleep. So yeah, that is all of the books that have come in with this book shipment. I'm going to be posting this up on YouTube as well, so see y'all later, and remember to like and follow us so that you can get a notification when we do any of these. So, see ya!